There's a perspective thing about me, or not a perspective thing, or perception about me based off of people's perspective that I drive fast, but it's all relative to what people are used to. Hey, I drive over the speed limit from time to time, but how I look at it, not to justify anything because I don't want to be a bad example on anyone, be a bad example to my sons or anything. It is a skill and ability that I have that I had since I was really young and driving. Um, but I think that's what caused a lot of the things that happened to me, getting pulled over by state troopers when I'm flying through. Now, when I say flying through, I wasn't doing 20 over the speed limit. In New Jersey, the fastest that you can drive is 65 miles per hour on certain designated highways or interstates. And I there was a point in time in life where I would maintain between 120 and 130 while I was driving, and it was just comfortable. It was normal to me. If I tried to drive at a reasonable speed, I felt like I was moving in slow motion and everyone was going to crash into me. Wondering if it was a paranoia thing, that if I wasn't passing everyone, if I wasn't being hyper vigilant flying down the highway, passing everyone, I would get into a cluster of vehicles, and because they were all so bad at driving, someone would crash into me. And that was always a fear or concern that I had for myself. Never me getting into an accident. And those fears actually came true because all of the accidents that I had while driving, I was driving under 20 miles per hour. So it was a a uh, weird prophecy type thing. What I feared actually came to fruition of me. I what I was going through. I was in Newark, New Jersey. This is when I got the attempted murder charge for beating the hell out of this African guy that ran a red light. He worked for the housing authority in Newark, and he smashed into the side of the Super Home. I, if I remember, I will put a link to it on like how I remembered it and wrote about it when I was younger. Yeah, when I was younger, not when it actually happened, but many years later, about the death of a super hoe. If I forget to put that up, please somebody remind me or ask me in the comments. But if my website is still up whenever you're watching this, ir62.com, and look in the blog section, and uh, the title of that blog post is uh, death of a super hoe, and you'll see a Ford Taurus SHO. So this housing authority worker, he runs a red light, smashes into the side of my vehicle, and this was already after having a long trip back from Maryland, where I went airborne twice, Dukes of Hazzard style, where they were doing some construction on 295 in South Jersey, and I didn't know. I'm flying down the highway, and one of the abutments, well, the road was milled up so they could pave it the next area within the next couple of days. But the abutments, those were concrete, and those stayed the same. So I was driving and then hit that. So already popped up, then going over this little bridge, caught air, then flying through the air, hit scraped the front of my bumper. The back of my car slams down to the ground. AR, he was in the back sleep. He went flying, hit the roof of the car, and what was playing? I believe we were playing some music from 3 6 Mafia, and the CD player was skipping. And whenever the CD player was skipping, you just punch it, and then it'd go back to normal. We did that. I downshifted. We kept driving, and I had to have been doing maybe around 140 miles per hour when that happened. So then I was after that happened, I was thinking to myself, maybe I need to slow down some. I need to try and do the speed limit or get somewhere close to it before something really bad happens, because that if I would have hit that at the wrong angle, we could have flipped. We could have flew off the bridge. There's so many potentials of what possibly could have happened, and I was just so grateful to be alive that that the Super Ho, my car, Ford Taurus SHO, was still in one piece. Nothing was broken. Nothing was destroyed. But then the father must have known that I would have got comfortable again, because later on I did, not in that vehicle, because that vehicle got wrecked within what, 24 hours? Yeah, within 24 hours after that that situation of me going airborne, and then talking to myself that I need to slow down. Within 24 hours, the Super Ho was wrecked, going 20 miles per hour through downtown Newark, New Jersey, and it was not traumatic in that we got into an accident, because I wasn't paying attention to anything except for that my car got hit. That's all that that mattered to me. The airbags and everything went off. I get out the vehicle in shock, and then that shock turned to rage. So y'all can read about it, what actually happened, and yeah, that was a situation of many situations where just flying down the highway and something happened. Most of the time, when I would get pulled over driving that fast, I wouldn't get a ticket. Now, I don't know if that was a blessing with those warnings, or just being shown that I'm receiving mercy on what potentially could happen. Because I think if you're going 40 miles over the speed limit, they're supposed to take your car and you're supposed to get arrested. Like, there's no questioning that. And I never did. A few times getting guns pulled on me, but I understood why. It wasn't because I was black. It was because I was doing 90 in a 25 in Plainfield, New Jersey. And yes, the officers were pissed off. One, because he was on a pedal bike, and two, because he just saw a child get killed because a motorcycle was flying down the road and a child just walked out into the road and got hit by a motorcycle. So I understand why that officer was pissed. But to get pulled over in a McDonald's drive-thru at gunpoint, that was an experience. Then other cars flying up on a curb, and it was something out of a movie, the way that happened. But that was because I was speeding. It was, what, 2 o'clock in the morning, so not really caring that or thinking that anyone is out on the road, but uh, that officer just so happened to be there a couple of blocks down on a pedal bike and was able to call it in and see where I went. So that was another situation where it just got a little slap on the wrist. Like, oh, that's all you're going to get, just a little slap on the wrist, and you can continue on. I think got a careless driving ticket on careless or reckless. I can't remember which one was the lighter offense, and that's what they gave to me. But now, when people ride with me and we really have to get somewhere, or I'm on an open highway, I got hours of road time in front of me, the pedal is down. I just got so used to driving like that. I Back then I would always plan out everything that I was doing on the road. Every vehicle that I see, I would try and get into the head of that driver based off of how fast that vehicle is going. I would speculate what in profile what that person was going to do. Like, oh, you see that ahead of them, you see that they're going that fast, they are going to put on their left turn signal and get in this lane. I guarantee it. As I'm coming up over 100 miles per hour, that's the exact thing that happened. And I would be able to see all of these reactions going on up and down the road. So it gave me almost this uncanny ability to avoid everything that was happening on the road, because of those drivers. They were so predictable that I knew what I needed to do to avoid them. That was way before I even learned about the Smith system. When I became a over-the-road truck driver, well, a truck driver in general. And let's see, what is the Smith system? The 5 keys to the Smith system: aim high in steering. You're supposed to be looking way out there in the distance for whatever. I think it's supposed to be 15 seconds lead time. Get the big picture, like pay attention to everything on the road. Keep your eyes moving, always looking in your mirrors for every 3 to 5 seconds. Like right now, I'm driving. I don't know if y'all are paying attention to my eyes. I have very good peripheral vision. My one mirror is right here. I have a camera mirror up here, and then the mirror on the passenger side is right there, and my eyes are going through all of them. Leave yourself an out. That's where in my mind, my speeding left me an out to be able to avoid whatever was going on. I would plan so far ahead. I am going right there, passing those vehicles. If that pocket closes up, I'm going over there, and I'm not zigzagging in and out of traffic. No, I'm just guiding through, putting my signal on, but at a very high rate of speed, and make sure they see you. Everywhere I go, I drive with my headlights on. That was ingrained in me when I worked for Bell Atlantic, the telephone company back east. Ooh, that was a sucky pothole. The telephone company, this one guy that was teaching us to be telephone technicians at plant school in South Plainfield, New Jersey, he said that your van is invisible. No one can see you. You can have your strobe light on, you can have all your lights on, which you should when you're driving, and people will still miss that you are there, miss that you are there, and that you're there to work, and they'll just crash into your vehicle. So you have to make yourself be seen. You have to use your signal for everything that you're doing, not only for the people to be able to see you, but for the people to be able to, you to have plausible deniability of what's going to happen. Because if you don't, then it's all on you. It's going to be your fault. You're going to be the one in trouble. You're going to be the one that has to go to court and answer to all of these things. So that always stuck with me. I'm wondering, between the whole Mr. T thing and my fight career, me having a mohawk, or all of my rings, and hey, everything just came together. Now I drive this van everywhere. It's the most comfortable thing. I never thought that I would drive a van. I always like little compact 5-speed cars, but this van is doing its thing. And yes, I've had this van up over 110 miles per hour, but that was because I was doing something very important and had to get somewhere really fast. That doesn't justify why I was doing it, but that is what happened. So now when people are riding with me and I get close to 90 miles per hour, and they're like, "Oh, you're going mighty fast." It's like, well, I guess to you, but when my grandmother was riding with me many years ago before she passed, was taking her food shopping, and she it took a moment to click in my head, where she said like, "Oh, we sure are passing a lot of cars." I was like, I guess we are. I looked down at the dash and realized I was doing 105, blasting gospel music, flying down the highway with my little tiny grandmother in the passenger seat, just enjoying herself. So, out of all of that, I'm just so happy that I made it. There's so many situations that I should not have made it out because of my speeding. And then there were so many situations that I made it out because of my speeding. I'm just here trying to do the best thing, to do the right thing, while also enjoying to go fast. I don't know. Maybe you all have your situation. I know some people ride motorcycles, some people have sports cars, some people have souped up pickup trucks and different things like that. Me, I wanted a Hayabusa at one point in my life, but then I became a pro MMA fighter and I realized how fragile life is. So no motorcycle for me. I was not willing to uh, make that situation happen, which I actually did. I won a heavyweight title from Brendan Barrett and went to go visit Tut. And he's like, "Oh, yo, Jay, I got a new motorcycle. You should check it out." It's like, nah, I have a fight with Bellator versus this guy, Zuna Anwayu, something like that. I believe I pronounced his name correctly. He's he lived in South Jersey, I believe, and got on this motorcycle. I was kept telling myself no, kept telling Tut no, no, no. All right, I'll just take it around the corner. Jam the helmet on my head, take off, doing maybe 10 miles per hour. Get to a corner. I think that I'm in third. No, I think that I'm in second gear, and then I downshift. No, I think that I am in third gear. I downshift to second, but I was actually in fourth. Downshifted to third, gave it some throttle. The bike just went, and then just dropped. I tore two tendons in my knee going 5 miles per hour, had road rash on my arm, and I was 2 or 3 weeks out from my Bellator debut. Couldn't do any conditioning. All I could do was rehab. I got in there the first round and was kicking his ass. Then second round, uh, referee Donnie Carlisle. He just passed away. Um, he, I was completely exhausted because I couldn't do any conditioning or anything for the fight, and I was down. I went for a takedown, and Azuna he blocked the takedown. I'm going to stand up, and then the referee just runs in, stops the fight, and me and Azuna are looking at each other, looking at Donnie like, "What happened? What happened?" And we were Azuna thought that he got disqualified somehow, and I'm looking like, "What happened?" I wasn't out. I was literally standing up, and then Donnie immediately started apologizing, realizing that he fucked up. He called the fight because he was on the wrong side, thought he saw something that he didn't see because he thought that he was protecting me because he knew me instead of doing his job correctly. So I ended up taking that loss because he thought something, something that wasn't going on. Everyone was confused. The rest of the officials were confused. Like, he was standing up. Like, what? Why are you stopping the fight? Like, I wasn't taking damage or anything. Like, no one knew what was going on. So that's how that ended. And I don't want some freak of nature while me speeding to end abruptly. So I'm trying to reel it in, slow down, take my time, and count my blessings. Shalom.